But I'd like to talk about UFC Fight Night in Paris. The Aussies are going over to try some frog legs and snails, take out some French cunts, and Ty's going to be the man to do it. Everyone's talking about Cyril Gane. He's coming up. He's going to take him out. He's too athletic. No, he's fucking not. Ty's going to step in, right hand, boom. He's eating the fucking canvas. That's my pick. Done and dusted.
Ty by a first round shoey KO. Someone's going to throw him a beer and a shoe, and he's just going to get both of them and smash him around his Cyril's head like that. And that's all she wrote. And we're going to have a new contender of UFC heavyweight division.
That's it, bro. Anyway, we talk about athleticism, man. People talk about Cyril being so athletic. The fact is that Ty is also a very athletic guy. Guys that have trained with him before, guys that played football with him before, said he's a very athletic guy. And you can see it, especially in his earlier fights. He was very explosive, and I hope he can bring that explosiveness back. He's been plotting a bit more lately. I think he's got the skills to come in and actually, match Cyril in a way with speed. Got slightly less range, but I think that speed will enable him to actually get in, like work off a jab, work off a kick to get in tight and land the punches he needs to land.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's that classic sort of point and strike. Even though Gane is a heavyweight with knockout power, I think stylistically this fight is going to be a lot more sort of like a point fighter versus a power hitter. Where Ty's going to go out there, he's going to look to try and knock him out. Gane's going to look to maintain distance, stay long, and just pretty much touch. If he sees the opening there, he might go for it, but it's unlikely he's going to really sort of try and push for finish sort of thing. Like what he did against Ngannou, how he's just circling, lots of lateral movement, touch, flicking the jabs, knee stomps, long front kicks, touching the legs, and really just trying to hit multiple targets at once. So it makes it a lot harder for Ty to come in and land the big shots, which he needs to end the fight.
Yeah, and he can't be a Derek Lewis, man, and just be like a slowly moving punching bag. He's really got to be mobile, and he's got to use that, that explosiveness that he has to get in, man. So staying slick and fast like he was in some of his earlier fights, like I said, that's a key. Use his pressure to get in, work off leg kicks, actually he's got the good leg kick too, which will stop someone standing in that side stance, like full Taekwondo style. Cyril thinks he's in the full contact Taekwondo competition in the Olympics at times. But Ty can use his leg kicks to kind of destroy that. It doesn't work so well if someone's smashing the legs, man, and he can do that, man. And I'm also interested, as well, right, I mentioned, what do you think about, I know Causa mentioned, what do you think about the clinch and the grappling, bro? Like who would it favor, do you think, from their last fights?
Honestly, it's hard to say because we've seen both guys be defensively, not below par, but we've seen them both be defensively exposed to grappling, but we haven't seen their offensive side. If you're looking at it, I guess on paper, Ty's probably not necessarily better, but he has fought the better grapplers who got it over him. Like, I don't really see a Ngannou being able, it's hard to say, but I don't see Ngannou actually being able to get Ty down. Like, he has pretty good scrambling ability, even though that's where he has got most of his finishes and that. It was against like good guys on the like high level black belts with good grappling ability, that is sort of their base. I wouldn't be surprised if, I probably would, to be honest. I'm trying to think, would Ty mix in any wrestling? Because I know he does plenty of work with Frank Hickman and everything like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's been working for a while. Like, he's concentrated on that for a while, right? Like, he's working with DC for a while even, and then he's been working with Frank forever, right? Like, I think that's an evolving part of his game that people don't really realize, and that's something that I hope he can bring in, because
especially with his athleticism.
Yeah, exactly. And Cyril Gane, as Derek Lewis said, Cyril kind of got exposed a bit, right? Although we're talking about a bit of a beast when you come to Francis Ngannou. He got
specimen.
He got picked up and thrown down. He got judo slammed on his head. Like, he was, he was copping a beating a little bit with the grappling. So I wonder if Ty can, at minimum, defend against the guy if he's trying to use grappling, or can he actually, dominate in any position? You could see he was working the clinch quite a bit, like the way he was coming out, like Ty was coming out and working that clinch pressure against the cage. If he can get him in that position, I think that'll be something he's actually looking for, to be honest. He's smashing his head underneath the chin of Gane and just working him in the clinch, but let's see.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see sort of D1 Ty come out, but I think we definitely could see like some pressure into the cage, and almost like what he did against Lewis, where he just gets him up against the cage, makes it real close and dirty, throws the elbows, rips the bodies, foot stomps, and just sort of really tries to put the pressure on there. But it's going to be hard because Gane has probably some of the best footwork and lateral movement in the whole heavyweight division. Like, it's the reason he's such that sort of, what would you say, like, not elusive, but like that sort of real spectacle at a heavyweight because he moves like he's a middleweight or welterweight. Like his movement for someone his size is very unnatural sort of thing, I guess you would say. Like there's not many big guys who can move with that sort of grace and flowiness to their stance, which makes it hard. But I feel like at some point, not early on, the explosions won't be there for Tai. So I think Tai's going to have to sort of maybe hit air for a little bit until we can sort of chop the legs and get Gane slowing down or starts to get the reads. He can't come out swinging big early, but if he can start to get reads, force him to exit certain ways, tries to like throws a power hand, knowing he's going to circle and try to catch him with a left hook or vice versa, throw a big left hook and jump into the right hook, really try and cut him off with punches. I think that's going to be his best bet, but he's going to need to try and get him backed up towards the cage because in open space, Gane's one of the like hardest heavyweights to get hit sort of thing, to hit, I should say.
We might not see the D1 Tai, but we might see the NRL Tai, bro. You know, he might just smash him with a mad tackle because you get guys that are fucking that have played NRL or rugby league, and then they come into a MMA gym. They're double leg. It's not the same sort of movement. They kind of weird. They kind of levitate themselves a bit. It's like a different movement, but it still translates to getting someone through the air and nailing them onto the ground. So he's got a good chance of that as well, man. Like I've never seen him do it, but imagine that. He must have a mad tackle, right? Like why doesn't he use that? I wonder, because he seems to have that explosiveness that for a big guy, you would think he'd be able to do a tackle just from his history, eh?
Yeah, like you would imagine. Well, I guess he definitely can, but really, I don't think he's ever needed to use it. And I think this is, let's be real, like Ty's doesn't have the greatest grappling ability. What he's specializes in is knocking people out. But against someone like Cyril, he can probably expose that weakness of, even if he just touches, gets sprawled on, just touches the legs, just give something else and give Cyril something else to think about. I think then that you can open up their hands because you see it all the time. Whereas wrestlers, they just use a shot once or twice and they fake the shot and they come up with punches and they can clip guys pretty comfortable with it.
Yeah, bro. And again, if Tai can get through the first like few rounds, like especially the first 1 or 2 rounds, and not use too much energy, I think he's going to have
5. Why do I not know it's 5?
3 rounds.
3. Okay.
Oh no, it's 5. It's fucking 5, isn't it? Yeah, this is 5 rounds. Yeah, so it's a big ask for him as well. This main event of the snail eating card, and I reckon so. For my pick, man, I think Tai needs to make sure he utilizes his athleticism. Don't plod along like he has been a couple of his fights. Go back to the days when he was a bit more mobile, because he's going to need to be to cover the distance. Stay slick, smash to the leg kicks in, use his pressure to get in there. Clinch if he needs to, take down, but I want him to land that big right hand and smash Cyril into the floor. That's my pick. And I'm staying with it. Betting the house, bro.
What round do you reckon?
Fuck, bro. I reckon Cyril moves pretty good. I reckon 2nd or 3rd round, eh?
Yeah, I think Tai, if he gets him, yeah, I want to say like 2nd or 3rd, because I think purely because like the 1st round is hard to hit, 2nd and 3rd is his best bet. 4th and 5th, the gas tank becomes an issue. And like how, like obviously 5 rounds for a heavyweight, you don't see many late sort of big spectacular finishes and more volume fading guys out. I think maybe 2nd round. I think Ty's going to get a read early in the 1st, then Kappa's the 2nd. I think it's either going to be a loop-in shot where he directs him one way to cut him off, or something spectacular like a flying knee up the middle.
That's it, bro. Hey, I like the comment from Well Rider. Gane looked average on the ground versus one leg Franny. one leg Franny. It's true. Fucking hell, bro. He had one leg. Like I was reading some comments the other day on these guys fighting because I was watching the fight again, and they were going, he's something about he was. He's saying they were saying he was out striking fucking Ngannou looked terrible or something like that. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? He couldn't even move. That's why he wrestled, because he couldn't stand and strike normally like he does, you know. Anyway. Yeah. Idiots. All right, so the next one we've got Robert the Reaper Whittaker smashing Marvin Vettori, bro. Again, we're just smashing them all, bro. The Australians just can't be beaten almost, man. But in this one, I have a very strong feeling that Whittaker is just too much for Vettori. I think Vettori is almost impossible to knock out. His chin's made of granite, but hey, having a chin made of granite doesn't necessarily win your fights. So I think he's just got too much skills, man. Robert's just too slick on the feet, man. And he's got the wrestling, got the BJJ. So I just really think he's just going to outpiece him on the feet. I don't think he's going to be able to knock him out because Vettori's just like a head made of stone. But anyway.
Head's this big, bro.
Yeah,
have you ever seen Roblox? You know
No.
that kid game's Roblox?
Oh, yeah. Roblox. Yeah, my son plays it.
Yeah, he's legit one of them, just real life.
That's true.
Just a big Italian character. But yeah, I think, you got to, skill-wise, you can see Rob piecing Vettori up with a jab. What else I think Vettori's probably going to try and wrestle, to be honest. I think that's where he thinks he's going to have the best advantage. But look at the guys who Rob was able to, like, he spent 50 minutes in Romero, and Romero could barely hold him down, sort of thing. And he's a much more athletic, much more skilled wrestler.
But didn't he fight him twice, bro?
Yeah, 50 minutes, yeah.
Oh, 50. All right.
Yeah. And then Jacare also, got up. Rob has really good scrambling defense, and you don't see Vettori putting people out. I think fair play to Vettori for taking this fight, because I do think it's a very bad stylistic matchup for him. Like, obviously he wants to get back to the belt, and this is one of the only ways to do it. But yeah, I don't really see a concrete path to victory for Vettori playing out.
Bro, one thing that people don't talk about too much is Rob is a black belt in Hapkido, bro. And we've all seen Steven Seagal, bro. It's similar, Hapkido, Aikido, isn't it? So I'm expecting some of those fast hands. He just fucking throws him through the air and shit, bro. Like, just takes him out. Maybe pulls out a credit card with a knife and slashes him across the throat or something. And he all can try it anyway. We haven't seen that in the UFC first
just
time.
Stops the jab with his hand and just wrist locks him. Standing wrist lock finish.
And he taps from the wrist lock. Has there been any wrist lock submissions in the UFC? I don't think I've ever seen one.
Sure, you'd have to get cut if you did. If you get wrist locked in the UFC, you'd have to get cut. Like, I think that's the
classic, man. That'd be so funny. No one would know what happened. Everyone would be going, "What the fuck? Like, what the fuck?" Someone got tapped from a wrist lock. That'd be hilarious.
Well, imagine being the guy. Like, there's a few moves that you don't want to get hit with.
Twister, man. Fuck, you don't want Twister. That's fucking embarrassing too, right? Like, it's pretty obvious it's coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Anthony Pettis got hit with a Twister just in his PFL fight.
He did. I didn't see that. I'm gonna have to go and have a look.
It was a modified one, because what happened? Old mate had him in a body lock, and I saw the clip and I was like, "Oh, Pettis must have had a rib injury or something." And I looked a bit more into the guy, and he's actually hit it. It's like hit it on Polaris. How do you say it? That jiu-jitsu comp?
Polaris, yeah.
Polaris, yeah. And he had him, so he gets a body triangle, and when they go to not the lock side, like the knee side, what you do is, I started playing around. It's actually pretty easy to hit, and you lock the arm, and then as you let him jump off and just come around the neck. And because you got the body triangle, it's still the same principle, just with body triangle instead of a lockdown.
Body triangle, you can do it. It doesn't have to be on the leg.
Yeah, it's still a spinal lock. Yeah, it's pretty fucking nasty too. Like, I was doing it with training partners and like tapping heaps earlier. I'm like, oh, obviously it's legit then.
That's good.
By training partners, I mean infants of a kids class. Because I must come back.
Whatever you can do, bro. You got to practice those submissions, right? The 5 to 10-year-old class is the best, I find.
Yeah, like, I'm not gonna practice my hard moves on good people. It's not gonna work.
You build it up, bro. You build it up with the little kid, the infants class, and the teenage class, then the girls class, and then you take it into the white belts.
Beginners class. That's how I got so good at Ezekiel's. I just started practicing on kids.
To be honest, yeah, I got plenty of photos of me putting my son in triangles and shit. He loves it. It's playing. Yeah. Yeah,
it's good fun, eh?
Anyway, bro, like back to the fight, Whittaker. I think Whittaker is just too skilled, man, too slick.
Yeah, man.
He's Marvin Vettori's got your standard rhythm. He's much slower than Whittaker. He's a great punching bag, though. I will give him that. He's a nice moving punching bag. Good training session for Whittaker. Whittaker's going to dart in and out, use his evasive movement, smash the fuck out of him, win on points, man. I don't think Vettori's going to have a chance to out wrestle him. I think if anything, Rob might out wrestle him. He just hasn't really had the chance to show it as much as he'd probably like to. That's my pick. I think even more than betting the house, I might bet my mother's house and my house on this one for Whittaker to take the win by points.
Yeah, I think it's just at this point, it's like Izzy's here, Rob's just below here, and then the rest of the division is a cut below. And I think we're just going to see that play out again. So yeah, you got to be. I'm not sure what odds are, but I'm fairly certain Rob by points would be not paying very much. It'd be a pretty sort of safe bet at this point. And that's what I think. Yeah, Rob by points, makes it look pretty comfortable. I think he's going to stuff most of Vettori's shots and just stick and move, hit him with like the long jabs, touch the body, flick the head kicks out, and just get it done. And then it's going to be interesting to see what next, because you could see Rob and Izzy 3, depending on how a few sort of fights go. You might see a Rob Piero fight or something like that play out. So there's a few cool options in that division.